that is less crowded on the road to success than the road to mediocrity.
What's going on, YouTube? It is your boy Pooski, and welcome back to another video. Listen, I understand. Truthfully, it has been a minute. I have not truly sat down and did a proper video in about 2 weeks, and I have not felt good in about 3 weeks, but I'm finally better. I'm telling you, sinuses is not fun, okay? But I'm better. Mentally, I'm actually doing better. Also, I needed this kind of wake up, I guess you could say. Kind of like, you gotta get things moving. But anyways, we're going to get into what this video is supposed to be about. This is supposed to be about the PBA Delaware Classic. Man, I'm telling you, I wish I wasn't sick that whole week. I wanted to go up the road so bad. I only could watch it. I couldn't even bowl for 3 weeks, guys. Like, I mean, I was hurting. I mean, I couldn't bowl. All I could do was watch on Bowl TV and just like, I know that place. I bowled there. I won a tournament there. But all week it was good to see, and it was a good show. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, but one more thing. Look at this hat. Oh my goodness. Look at the hat. I have always been a fan of the Cubs bear. Any hat with a Cubs bear on it. And then the rim is like suede. Oh my goodness. And then you got the side patch. Oh my god. I just had to. I'm sorry. I just had to. Alright, so they were bowling on the Billy Hardwick 44-foot pattern. And your finalists are, for the 5th time in a row, Mr. E.J. Tackett. Number 4, Tim Foy Jr. I actually know this guy. He actually has given me tips. And this guy is pretty damn good. Plus, he's a true Delawarean, I guess. Or he's from Delaware, Seaford. So, I mean, right there. The number 3 seed is Bill O'Neill, the real deal. He's also making these shows. How many shows is this? 3 or 4 this season? So, my goodness, it's good to see Bill back doing what Bill O'Neill does. All right, being the real deal. Number 2, making his first ever show appearance, David Boog Kroll. Good to see him. And last but not least, the number 1 seed, Tomas Kaiko. I'm not sure if this is his first show, but he is on LAX, which is Jason Belmonte's team. So for the Elite League. So I mean, has he been on TV for that? Probably. I'm not sure if he's ever been like solo on a actual show. So is this his first time? Possibly. I don't know. Let's get into the first match. E.J. Tackett versus Tim Foy Jr. Listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. This match right here was hard to watch because I was rooting for the hometown boy Tim Foy, but also, I mean, this is my guy. EJ's my guy. Yo, no, EJ's my guy. But anyways, EJ started off with the primal shock, and he started off pretty good with 4 strikes in a row.
Well, one of his favorites.
Tim started off with the track stealth, and he leaves the 7-pin in the first frame, but he picks that up and goes on a striking spree for 4 strikes in a row also.
Oh yeah.
Now we know EJ started off with a ham bone, 4 strikes in a row, but in the 5th frame, he leaves a god dang on 10-pin.
2 weeks ago.
And he picks it up. After Tim Foy's 4 in a row, in the 6th frame, he left a 10-pin on the same lane EJ left a 10-pin on. EJ strikes in the 6th, but in the 7th frame, I'm telling you, this 10-pin will not go down.
He goes quicker.
In the 7th frame, Tim Foy's ball comes in just a little late and leaves the 2-pin, and he picks that up and strikes in the 8th frame. In EJ's 8th frame, his ball comes in a little fast and it jumps on him and he leaves a split. But my boy picks it up. But he moves over to the left lane, and in the 9th frame, he just can't get nothing to carry as he leaves the 7th pin. Before the 9th frame, Tim Foy takes a little bit of a timeout, to calm himself down. He could tell that the nerves are really getting to him. You see he's kind of, shaking it off and getting himself right. Good thing he did, because he strikes in the 9th. Now he moves on to the 10th frame, and all he needs is 17 pins to beat EJ Tackett. He gets the first strike.
Tim Foy.
And on the second shot, he gets 8 pins, and it is enough to beat EJ Tackett, but it was a 7-10 split.
Well, all will the 7 give?
I mean, wow. Wow. But anyways, he gets enough, and he moves on to go against the real deal, Bill O'Neil. Okay, so in the second match, Tim Foy starts off with the track stealth, and he sticks with it, and he strikes in the first frame.
On that left lane. Foy.
Bill O'Neil starts off with a theorem, and he's really liking this ball, and I see a few people actually liking this ball, even though that name and logo throws me off a little bit. People love it, so hey, you like it, I love it. He leaves the 10 pin in the first frame, but he picks that up and he goes on to strike in the second. Tim in the second frame comes up a little light to leave the 2 pin. He picks that up and then comes high in the third to leave the 4 pin, and he picks that up also. Bill O'Neil leaves the 10 pin in the 3rd frame, and in the 4th frame, he strikes.
Hey Bob, rest in peace.
Finally getting something to go, Tim Foy strikes in the 4th frame. But in the 5th frame, the ball comes off his hand wrong, and he knew it, and he leaves the 2-8-10 split. And of course, he only gets 2 pins. Bill strikes in the 5th frame, but in the 6th frame, that 7 pin decides he ain't going down. Tim gets a strike in the 6th frame, but in the 7th frame, he pulls the ball, and it takes off on him to leave the 3 pin. Bill strikes in the 7th frame, but this left lane is starting to give both players trouble, and he cannot get nothing to carry over there.
7-game match. No way.
Tim leaves the 10th pin in the 8th frame once again, even though it was a great shot. And then in the 9th, he goes on to leave the 2 and the 8. Bill strikes in the 9th.
Who is making his first ever.
Which means he moves on to the next match versus the number 2 seed, David Boog Crawl. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna call this man Boog. I mean, that's what he wants to be called. That's his nickname. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Boog. Bill decides to stick with the theorem, and he strikes in the 1st frame.
On that left lane.
Boog comes out with the GB4 hybrid, and if you see his approach and you see where he's standing at, my man's is standing way far left and is standing in front of the ball return.
Ball return already on the right lane. Look at that.
Now, that is one thing about the mid-county lanes up in Delaware. They have very, very, very far ball returns. I mean, they are very in front of you, meaning that they're very close to the foul line. That's what I mean. They are very close to the foul line, closer than any other bowling alley that I've seen. Bill O'Neil starts off with a double, but in the 3rd frame, he leaves the 4 and the 7 pin as his ball comes high. Boog, after the double, gets it a little bit wide, and he leaves 3 pins. He picks that up, and then he Brooklyn strikes once again on the left lane.
Oh my. Fortunate. Fortunate.
Now, and that is one thing that you're going to notice about Boog this whole match. The ball was just carrying for him. Me personally, if you just have luck and you're getting Brooklyns, yes, it's annoying. Yes, it can piss you off. if you're going against the person, but if you just got to carry, you just got to carry. And if it's your day, it's your day. Bill O'Neal again strikes in the 4th frame on the right lane, but in the 5th frame on that left lane, he leaves the 4 and the 7 once again. Boog goes to the 5th frame and he leaves a 10 pin, picks that up, and then he strikes in the 6th frame.
Good shot. Boog.
In the 6th frame, Bill doesn't have a good release, and it looks like he gets it wide about 3 boards. At least that's what it looked like on the little Specto chart thing that they have on there. And he leaves the 1, 2, 8, and he only picks up the 2 and the 8.
And that's big mistake for O'Neal.
But in the 7th, he finally strikes. Boog in the 7th frame leaves the 10 pin and comes high in the 8th, but carries on Boog's side as he strikes again.
Oh my goodness! At the last.
Bill leaves the 10 pin in the 8th frame, but in the 9th frame, he strikes. Boog in the 9th frame and on that right lane leaves another 10 pin. He picks that up. Now, after picking up that 10 pin, Boog moves on to the left lane and the 10th frame. He needs 2 strikes and 8 pins to beat Bill O'Neal and shut him out. Kerry is on his side because he comes out with the first ball in Brooklyn's another strike.
8 years pro, now full time. This is Kroll's time.
But that stops on his second ball as it goes through the face.
Oh no.
And he only gets 1.
That's a huge mistake.
Now, the game is back in Bill O'Neal's hand. All he has to do is strike twice and he wins. But it's on the lane that's been giving him trouble. On his first shot, he finally gets one.
Tie out of the equation. Here we go. The real deal.
But on his second shot, that good old 10 pin decided to stand right up.
Wow.
And he spares it off to send this match into a roll-off. So how the roll-off goes, 1 shot, whoever has the highest pinfall moves on. And if they both strike or they both leave the same number, you go to the next lane and you do it again. Highest pinfall wins. So the higher seed gets to pick which lane they go and which order they go in. So Boog decides, I'm gonna go first and I'm gonna pick the lane that Bill O'Neal has been struggling. Boog decides, I'm gonna pick this right lane and I'm gonna go first. I know you've been struggling, but I gotta win this match. And guess what? Boog strikes.
On the right with that loft. It comes around. And this time for Kroll. He delivers.
Bill O'Neal comes up and leaves not a 10 pin, no, a 2 pin.
David Kroll is moving on to the finals.
So that means on to the championship match. Boog Kroll. And we will have a first-time PBA champion on the show. Here we go, the championship match. Tomas Kaiko? Is that how you say it? I don't know, but I'm gonna be calling him Tomas, alright? Versus Boog Kroll. Which one will claim their first ever PBA championship / title, whatever? Who will get it? Tomas was throwing both versions of the DV8 Troublemaker. I think on the left lane he was throwing just the Troublemaker, then on the right lane he was throwing the Pearl version. Don't quote me, but I think that's what was going on. And first thing we all notice about Tomas, he has a very unorthodox approach. But it does not matter because guess what? He strikes in the first frame.
But his start.
Boog sits with the GB4 hybrid and leaves a 10 pin in the first frame, but in the second frame, he strikes.
Oh yeah.
Tomas leaves the 4 pin in the second frame. The ball kind of jerked on him a little bit. He picks that up as he almost missed it. And in the third, his ball bites and he leaves a split and he only gets 2. Boog strikes in the third frame, but as he goes into the fourth frame, he leaves the 3-6. Tomas in the fifth frame throws a beautiful ball, but the 10 pin stands up. But at least in the sixth frame, he finally gets a strike.
Or just
in the fifth, Boog goes way outside and leaves the 3 pin.
His abilities.
Now, at this part of the match, I started to notice that Tomas was playing such a sharp angle and the ball was really biting back on him. So in the sixth frame, it does do that and he leaves the 3rd pin. He gets it left in the 7th frame with a little bit of a double dribble and he leaves the 4th pin, but he picks it up. Boog strikes in the 7th and it seems to just be his day as he moves to the left lane, and the 8th frame, he Brooklyn strikes again, people. He Brooklyn strikes again. Hey man, when you got it going, you got it going. Hey, can't even hate on him. And on the other side, Tomas in the 8th frame, it just goes downhill for him as his ball looks like it dies and leaves him a washout. But he moves on to the 9th frame and he strikes.
Prize $25K, and that's Talca's best of the day.
All Boog needs to do in the 9th frame is strike, but that 10 pin wasn't having it. But the game and the match and the championship is still in his hands, and Boog Kroll gets his first PBA title.
David Kroll is your Delaware Classic champion, and Boog is a first-time PBA champ.
This right here is something you like to see. I'm telling you right now, this year is the good guys tour, because we got nothing but guys who have been working their tails off and getting deserving match wins. And right here, Boog Kroll deserves this win. Like I've been saying, it was just his day. He spent most of the match versus Bill O'Neill apologizing for the Brooklyns, wishing he could throw it right, but I mean, it's not his fault. It was just his day. He was just getting the carry. Sometimes it's just like that. This title was meant for him. This was Boog's title. It probably already had his name on it because that carry was there for him. So Boog, congratulations, man. Super proud of you. Happy for you. Can't wait for more titles to come because you, man, and to go through the PCQ and to, man.
Watching the PBA on FS1.